My friends, it's been a while. It seems I begin every video saying that. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here today. A friend of mine said to me the other day, she had been in a kind of withdrawal. She just needed to be by herself, and it was really beyond her control. And I think she felt like maybe she was missing out, or people would be mad at her or misunderstand. And I can relate why she had to have time for herself. And she said, I feel like I'm, bless the cards, I feel like I'm in a cocoon. You know, I'm just cut off, I'm in a cocoon. And I certainly know that feeling. And I said to her and to myself as well, then the metamorphosis is underway. You know, you're in the chrysalis stage. When a caterpillar goes into the cocoon, it has an intermediate stage where it becomes kind of goo. You know, no longer the caterpillar, back to some kind of essential material that eventually reforms into the butterfly. But when it's in the chrysalis, as it grows, there's an opening in the case of the chrysalis. And eventually out comes the new being, transformed. And we can say, is that the same being that went into the cocoon? I don't know, but I think it's happening to us. And it entails a kind of surrender to the process, which may be you emerge completely, apparently a different creature, but there's some core self that is a constant through these apparent changes of growth and transformation. The metamorphosis is surely taking place. And it takes place kind of in the dark. Metamorphosis. Page of Wands. That's a new path, a new inspiration, a new creative purpose or drive, all Wands energies. Somebody who's ready to move forward. And they're gaining momentum here. It's new, it's page energy. It's not the old path. It's not the old way. Four of Pentacles. I'm sorry, Four of Swords. You know, somebody's in the nest. It's almost like in the cocoon. See, this person's kind of curled up. And in a kind of withdrawal. Four of Swords can be that in Rider-Waite. It shows the person inside, the warrior, inside what appears to be the tomb. It's a card of non-action while a change takes place. And in this case, it's in sword energy to do with how you perceive things or how you see yourself or how you express yourself in the world, what you believe in. So somebody's in the cocoon. And it may be needing to take a rest or a respite because what's really undergoing the change, you know, which will, this is the person springing out of the cocoon. It takes time. And it may be a change in you know, maybe the brain going offline, you know, into the dark. And then, boom, out you come. Eight of Pentacles, it takes time. Pentacles can speak to time and to work and to perhaps a work that's done in a kind of chrysalis place, where you can't really see it, at least from the outside. But it's very productive in 3D. That's the work that you're doing. And it will lead to this. Something vivified, because wands are about life force energy. Here we come, springing back into the world on a new path. You've put a lot of time and energy into this. And some of it happened in the chrysalis. This metamorphosis, this change. Is it this? Wow, star card. Major Arcana card of Aquarius. Card of healing. Of clarity. In air energy. A card of healing. Four of Swords that's one of the things it means. It takes time. It takes a kind of protective space. And then there's this clarity about how to get there. How to heal. It takes time. And there's something about the tether here. The connection between the individual and the energy of the collective. The energy of the thing that connects us to each other and to the world. So it doesn't involve losing yourself, whatever this change is. It's a healing change, it's a change in perspective, and it may be an understanding that you're not alone. There is this time in the chrysalis, but there's also in that same air energy a connection to the collective energy. We're all doing this. Okay, next up, Strength card. I love that. That's a card of Leo. It's in fire energy, like Page of Wands. Two major arcana in a row. Connection to healing, connection to the divine, connection to the self, somehow integrating the two sides of yourself. Yeah, there's something that wants to come through and I can't quite get my hands on it. Or get my let's see. It takes courage. To come out of this protected place through the opening in the cocoon. That's what the butterfly does. It squeezes through. The crack is made by the growth. The cocoon no longer fits. You're bigger than that. You're bigger than that. So the courage to emerge, to step into your own power, Wands energy. There may be some hesitation. You may feel like you're not big enough. You may feel like the youngster, the page. But that's a good thing. It's starting fresh. It's allowing for time and growth. And there's something about not second-guessing yourself, allowing this process to take place. It can be scary. It can be scary to have yourself dissolve into the goo inside the chrysalis and then, patiently let time do its work and emerge again. Magician. That whole bottom row is Major Arcana. Is a card of Virgo, Gemini, of manifestation, of working with all the energies to become, it's not like the best version of yourself. It's just somehow the destiny you were made for this. And it's not based on, we've got a card of doing the work here in 3D, but this is a transformation that will take place. It's not like you have to work at being different. It's your core self coming to the forefront. And I noticed there's the infinity symbol tattooed on this one's arm. That eternal process. And on this one's cap, the infinity symbol. It's a kind of continuum. The butterfly may develop in the chrysalis and emerge the butterfly. We do this again and again over lifetimes. And in the course of one lifetime, allowing this process to take place. And it involves allowing. It's not like we get in the cocoon and have to do the, disassemble and reassemble ourselves. It comes from a deeper place than that. In a way, it's out of our hands. On Star card, 6 of Cups. This can be a card of past life. In the sense of incarnation maybe, or just in the sense of metamorphosis, see over time. The youngster to the gray-haired senior, the puppy to the mature dog, over time, growth. This is in Cups energy. It's about connection, love, fellow feeling. Over time. But there's something very much outside time in this reading. And the two aren't mutually, we live in time. We also have our being outside time. There's some core self that just abides. On Magician. Page of Swords, another youthful energy. This is a card of curiosity, study, being the student, beginner's mind, willing to learn, willing to take a new approach, willing to learn something that breaches these apparent, there's an apparent gap, but there's some kind of connective tissue here. The old self isn't lost. It's incorporated into the new. Page of Swords. Air energy. We're at the beginning of something new. It's a new path. It's a new way of thinking about things. Page of Wands, Page of Swords. Swords refer to, perception, thought, language. We emerge from the chrysalis as something new. I think we do. Oh, 9 of Wands. That can be a barrier. And I think that this is the hard work, the purposeful, this is a card of the wounded warrior. This is how the cocoon opens. It's not easy. It necessitates a break in the pattern. This person has tried very, very hard multiple times to break through. And there is this barrier, but you can see it's not, it's not a brick wall. It's in the process of opening so this person can step through. And there may be some fear involved. Nine of Wands. This person is kind of giving side eye to the whole situation. Maybe in disbelief. I've come so far. It's been hard. And now there's this need for rest. Can you tell us about breaking through the barrier, Nine of Wands, to the place of rest and a new understanding, Four of Swords, Page of Swords. Tower. That'll break up in the cocoon. You know, the tower is the destruction of the old thing so that something new can emerge. You know, and it's the destruction of the chrysalis, the container, you know, the self we used to identify with, but here we are, unscathed. That lightning bolt comes down and destroys the paradigm, the shell, but we're still intact. I see this as a card of Scorpio, that transformative metamorphosis energy. It's been sudden, dramatic, and it's a shake-up. It's not necessarily a comfortable energy. It can be exhausting. But we're too big for the cocoon. You know, we've grown inside this container, inside this dark place. And now, you know, willy-nilly, the cocoon is opening. On Four of Swords, please. Is it this? Hierophant. Card of Taurus, of higher power. You know, the staircase of an ascension. And it's joyful. Sometimes Hierophant has the element of tradition or, you know, a kind of oppressive system. Well, not here. Healing the connection to higher power. And it's not like, you know, when that tower comes down and we see our connection to higher power, it's not like it's brand new. I mean, there are a lot of youthful energy cards here, but you're tapping into something that was always there. It was always there. But in our 3D life, there's an element of forgetting. This is the joy of remembering it. At my core, this is who I am. Major Arcana card. The psyche has gone through this incredible transformation. And there's joy on the other side. There's joy. And there's also this side eye. There's, you know, there's a little bit of skepticism involved here. Because somebody's really been through a fairly dramatic and perhaps almost like a dark night of the soul in the chrysalis. Going through dark night of the soul, which is where you lose that feeling of connection with the divine. The feeling of it. It's always been there. And now you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to feel the connection. It'll kind of tug at you, this tether, this unbreakable. It's almost like the umbilical cord. And, you know, umbilicus is the baby comes out of the sac, goes through all these stages from the little, you know, the little two-celled thing to the four, and it multiplies, and goes through all the evolutionary stages with the development of the spine and the brain and the digits and all that. And this is kind of like labor pains. Labor pains. And this is sort of like, I'm getting a lot of birthing images, like the creature coming out of the amniotic sac out of the chrysalis into the world based on some metamorphosis in the core self. All these major arcana cards. You know, it's bigger than our everyday life. It's something we accomplish in 3D, earth energy, 8 of Pentacles. But it's a birthing process. There are labor pains. And it may be lifetime to lifetime you've been working up to this. And working up to it sounds like it's all on you. It's not. You're working in cooperation with the universe. And it doesn't entail like nose to the grindstone. That self will be born. It doesn't fit in the chrysalis anymore. It doesn't fit. You're bigger than that now. Okay, on Strength card, Emperor. Card of Divine Masculine. Card of the doer, the accomplisher, the one who knows how to do something. And is, you know, not a dictator, but runs the show and knows it, but is inspired by some kind of core self. Deep in the psyche, the knowledge of one's own strength. Both of them in fire energy, Aries and Leo. And it's interesting because this is sort of the inside operator. You know, Hierophant, it's deep inside it's your spiritual self, and this is yourself in the world, where you can affect change, where you can find out the next move. It's the synthesis of those two. You may be in the process of manifesting, of becoming this kind of powerful creator force. It's embodied in you. And it's the willingness to be new, to start fresh. The divine masculine energy of, you know, accomplishment and, I mean, the ability to burst through the barrier, the courage to come into the world and know what to do and how to do it. And not in one instance, but to know your own personal power. In everyday life and beyond space and time, which sounds sort of esoteric and like, but it's really expressing very much in 3D. When you come out of the chrysalis, and this could be you, it could be divine masculine in your life. You could be the spiritual one. They could be the how to get it done, you know, how to kind of work the system somehow. You're the teacher. This is almost, I'm getting like an administrative energy, and not in a cold way. But, you know, somebody who can move the chess pieces around. So it could be you coming together with somebody else in a kind of synthesis, or internal, or both. As above, so below. The inside growth expressing in 3D. Bursting through the chrysalis, and it's joyful. It's joy. It's your birthright. It's who you are at your core. It's a reason to rejoice. We have Scorpio in the Tower, Taurus in the Hierophant, Aquarius in the Star card, Leo in the Strength card, Aries in Emperor, Virgo, Gemini in the Magician. A lot of major arcana. This is a big deal. Bursting through, coming out. It's underway. The metamorphosis is underway. So buckle up, Buttercup. New life. Page of Wands, Page of Swords. And you have the strength to do this. This is your birthright. I'll see you next time.